Coming up on this episode of the Spiro podcast. I mean, we're so comfortable with each other. Hey, how's your kids doing? They'll ask about Zeke. I think I'm friends with pretty much every client I've got on Facebook. So they see my updates on my family and they'll ask how my son Zeke's doing. And, it's living life together and doing business together.
Welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography company. Spiro is a software platform. It's designed to help you run your day-to-day real estate media business and ultimately help it grow, help it scale, give you the support that you need on the back end of things so that you can really be customer-centric, customer-focused, and serving your clients well. I'm Craig Magrum. Welcome to the podcast. Let me introduce our co-host and Spiro founder and owner, Todd Kivimaki. Hello, Todd.
Craig, fabulous to be in here. We've got an exciting topic. We have we're diving back into the day in the life of Craig Magrum, into his brain and what he's done. So I think this will be fun. Come along with the journey for us. And we hope that if this gets some questions stirred, ask us. You can reach out to us, hello@spiro.media. We want to make sure that we're continuing to bring value to you all. We appreciate this time with you. We know your time's limited. So we want to know what you want to know, and we will do our best to help you along with that or find someone that knows a lot about that. So feel free to comment below or contact us directly, hello@spiro.media.
There you go. Well, before we dive into this riveting topic.
That was sarcasm.
I know. It was.
I think.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's just day in the life of Craig. It's like, but it's been a good year, and yeah, I'd love to share some things as you set me up. But before we do that, let's jump into some Spiro updates, events, things like that. Todd, what do you have for us?
Yeah, some things to mark your calendar with. So the rep conference is coming up here soon. This is the first week in November. So 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe. Again, don't quote me. I apologize. Go to repteam.com. Look for the conference link. It is almost sold out. So if you're going to go, it's time to make those accommodations. So get your plane booked, get your tickets, come see us there. It's going to be a great time. That is the first week in November. Again, repteam.com and look for the conference link. Secondly, another event that we hope to see you at is our event, the Spiro Sync. So this is January 22nd and 23rd of 2026 in Dayton, Ohio. So you're going to get more information to come, but this is going to be a day where you're going to come. We're going to build, we're going to learn, we're going to breathe. It's going to be a great time. This is also an event where you can bring your team members. So if you're looking just for an outlet and a way to build culture, this could be a great option for you. And the reason why we did that is because last year I brought more of the team at WOW to the rep conference and they loved it. Like the memories we have, the things we learned, it was great to be human to human with them outside of the office setting. And it did so much for our culture, especially I brought my leader, Steve and Jess, with me. It did so much just to continue to push us along as a unified and aligned group. So that's why you can bring your team members. We're also going to have a streaming option that we'll make available for you. So look out for more information. Best way to find information from us is the Spiro Super User Facebook group. Heck, if you're not even a Spiro user, we let you all in. We want you in there. So we don't discriminate, even though it says you need to be a Spiro user, but just put in there that you're interested or you want to know more information about the event, and we'll let you in and help you along the way. Okay.
You rebel.
Oh, hey, I do. This is a shameless thing. We don't sell a lot or hardly ever on this podcast, but now is a great time. If you're thinking about making a switch, if you like what we say, if you like the things we've put in, the updates we've done an outrageous amount of updates. If you're in another system and you're like, hey, I'm not really getting these updates, or you talk about automating tasks and all of these other things, the on-site tracker, the SMS, the homeowners, the 2 upsell potentials with a bundle selling, the idea of Titus, the idea of CRM functions coming. If you're like, hey, I really wish I had those things, we would love to help you. And we have a program for you, Spiro Concierge. If you want us to do it for you, press the easy button, let us know. Go to spiro.media. You can chat with us there or email Nick on our team, nick@spiro.media. He'll have a conversation with you. We're humans. We're real people here. Talk to Nick. He's going to find out what you need, how we can help out, and then he can get you connected with the onboarding team. So we would love to earn your business. We're excited about the future of what we have coming up. And if you are wanting those features and feeling a bit left out in another system, hey, come join the movement. Here, come over to Spiro. Lastly, updates. They're coming. By the time you've listened to this, they're out. Titus, pay at close. It's huge. I've talked about it a ton. We were on Eli Jones's YouTube channel last night talking about it. We did a tech talk about it. I've talked a ton about it. I think this is a ace in your pocket as a real estate photographer to get into a room of agents and say, hey, I understand you. I can help you with pay at close. Order everything you want. Choose the agent on camera because you're going to have listing babies. Yeah. We want you to get listings from more listings. Choose the better marketing packages. You don't have to pay me at all right now. Do it through Titus Pay at Close. And by the way, just as a side note, you photographers, you get paid immediately. 11 seconds later, I think is the time you get paid.
You have it down to 11 seconds, huh?
Yes, Nick at Titus, he's like, and you get paid immediately. He's like, well, that's not technically correct. I think it takes 11 seconds.
Jeez, I don't know. 11, that's a long time, Todd. might be a deal breaker.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm like, you were tongue out of my cheek there. Anyway.
But that's it for
all
me,
right.
Craig. I said
Awesome.
I wanted to keep the intro short, and here I am talking. But all relevant things again. If you want information, just talk to us. The pink chat bubble. hello@spiro.media.
Yep, there you go. All right, thanks for those updates, Todd. All right, well, let's just dive in this week. Todd and I were talking before we started recording here, and it's going to be a little bit of a kind of shooting from the hip. It's been a crazy week or two here. Just a lot of things on a lot of people's minds, just some heavy things that might have us a little distracted or introspective. But we just wanted to kind of dive in, look at the year so far, things that have been good, things that have been challenging. I don't know how to set this up exactly, Todd. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, I feel like this is the end of a school period, Craig, and we're going to look at your report card.
Oh boy. Great. So I'm getting my job review in front of everybody.
Well, that's an angle of it, I guess. But
no. Okay, go ahead.
You can review me next week, okay?
Yeah, that's not happening.
I think that'd actually be that'd be a fun podcast. But so Craig's report card, everyone. Okay. Remember, you get report cards used to come home. They were green for me. I know they're probably all digital now, but they were green. They were a bifold and it had, your grade, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, extremely. And I am pulling up Craig's report card and the way this is done, and I've gone into Spiro, I've clicked on metrics and reports, and for us, we have many different divisions, so I've filtered down to just Craig's division, okay? And Craig I'm looking at year-to-date revenue. So we have these beautiful cards in here, and we have all the information here. And Craig is up 19% over last year in revenue year-to-date. I'd say that's an A+, Craig. I mean,
all right,
about 20% being up, that's great. That's great.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, here's some more confidence builders, Craig.
Okay.
Month to date. And because you've done a great job. Month to date, you're up 32% versus last month.
Last month or last September?
Last September, excuse me. Month over month from the
Okay.
year. So you're up 32%. So a couple of questions, Craig. So this year, When I told you you were up 19%, has it felt like that? Was like, oh yeah, I know I'm there. You probably review these metrics, so you probably know them. But has the market felt like that to you?
That's a good question. I mean, I definitely know that I've been busier this year than last year. I haven't necessarily looked at the year over year numbers. I tend to just look at what's my goal this month or what's my goal for this year, and I just keep trying to chip away at that and keep building it and hitting those numbers. I do like to see what the change has been from the previous year, but that usually doesn't happen until closer to the end of the year. So it's interesting that you've brought these up. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered the question or not, but
Let me ask something slightly different, but
okay.
are you happy with that 19% up?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Very,
Yeah.
very happy.
And the reason I ask that, Craig, is because sometimes I think as business owners, we are too hard on ourselves. And I know you can be too hard on yourself, Craig. So it's good to hear you say, yes, I'm happy with that, because I'm over the moon with that. As the owner of the business, I'm over the moon with that. So I'm actually very pleased that you're happy with that. Because if you're like, no, I like, what's 19%? Then we have an alignment problem. And I have found out the hard way over the years that I've been unaligned with some of my employees, where I either think they're doing a good job and they don't, or vice versa. I think there's room for improvement. I think, and they think they're doing a great job. And I think the way you get aligned with that is you just connect more with your employees. And I know you're saying, well, Todd, you just found out that Craig's actually happy with being up 19%. So you're not connected. Okay, fair enough. I would say, though, that Steve and Craig, or Chris and Craig, have these conversations. Is that fair, Craig? Somebody has these conversations with you. You know where you sit at with Steve and Chris.
Right. We have like a monthly, basically a monthly report with, what is the goal this month? What's the actual numbers, at this point in time? And then we also have a breakdown for the trend for the end of the month. Am I on pace to hit the goal for the end of the month? And I watch that really closely, the trend. And if I see that I have less activity than I want to hit that goal, I'm out there trying to build more relationships, earn more appointments and the like. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, a question, clarifying question. So you said that as we're looking at trends versus what the goal we've set versus what our actual is. Okay. So if we want to do 100 shoots this month and we've done 80 and there's 2 days left in the month, or let's say there's a week left in the month, 2 days, there's not much you can do. Let's say there's a week or two left in the month. You said that, what would you do again, Craig?
If my appointment activity isn't where I would like it to be, say my schedule's not full, I try to take that time to reach out to current clients, check in on how things are doing, ask for referrals. The referral thing is big, and I have found that is probably the easiest way to get traction in growing business, is just ask for referrals. Something that we were talking about before we started recording was the fact that there's a lot of teams, real estate teams. And I just was talking with a realtor about this, about how that's a relatively new model compared to the old days of real estate, where an experienced real estate agent will start to build their team and bring in kind of new realtors and make suggestions to them, mentor them, suggest vendors to them. And when we were going over some of the new clients that I brought in my market, a lot of them were referrals from team leaders to new realtors. And I thought, I really hadn't thought a ton about that. But when you have the report in front of you, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I got that client. It was a team leader. Oh, there's another team leader that brought on a new client. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gold is the referral business. And well, the referral business is, I think, the best way to grow. But would you rather get a referral or make cold calls, Craig?
Referrals hand over fist. I mean, let's be honest. It's easier. It's a warm introduction. Uh, yeah, my personality isn't one to just make a cold call. I like to have some sort of setup in reaching out to somebody. Even if it's hey, do you have a colleague in your office that you think could benefit? Is it okay if I use your name as a current client, and at least have that if I'm doing a cold call?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. So what I want to do now is we'll pivot a little bit. And I think this would be great to actually let's go through your new client list, Craig.
All right.
And we'll keep all these names. Craig and I have both glanced at this list a little bit, and we'll keep the names private. But I think what's important here is I know many of you are saying, oh, yeah, that's great, Todd. I really prefer a referral versus a cold call as well. Just how do you get the referral? And that's what I think we can dive into as we see these names on here. And we might see some names on here that are not referrals. And I think it'll be fun to talk about how those people came in.
Mm-hmm.
But Craig, do you want to pick? I know there's a couple. Do you want to go through? Let's start from the top down client list as you're going through these. But let's start with, I think the first one was Dawn. And Dawn, yeah tell us about Dawn.
So Don works for a brokerage that we are not a preferred vendor for. We've had a relationship with the brokerage in the past, back when I had my own company doing real estate. But Dawn came in from a referral from her son, who is on her team. So she's actually the team leader. She's the experienced realtor. Her son is newer in the business, but he reached out to us, and this was not someone I pursued, admittedly. I had never heard his name even before, but he was looking for somebody outside of their inside marketing department, and got our name and reached out to us. So I had a discussion with him. We got a shoot set up. He was super happy with everything that we did, the team did for him. And I think it was maybe 3 weeks later, all of a sudden I see somebody with the same last name, and turns out it's his mom, and he's on her team. And so in talking with her, she said, "I've heard nothing but good things about you from my son." I'm like, "Well, that's awesome, Dawn. Thank you for reaching out." And she's established in the business, has a lot of business over the years, and we have very quickly formed a great relationship with her as well. So, yeah.
That's great. So this company, I want to ask a quick question about the company, because one thing you told us is this particular company, they have an in-house program, or they have preferred vendors. They have they work to push everyone into that. So management, they're all aligned. Like they want their realtors to use the in-house company, correct?
Correct.
So do you still feel there's any potential there, or what are your actionable items with this particular company? Do we just write them off?
Oh, heck no. Because we still have a lot of loyal clients from that company that have stayed with us because they know the consistency of our work. They know me. They know I'm going to be probably 10 to 15 minutes early. And if I'm actually getting it close to the actual appointment time, they're getting nervous because Craig is always early. So, but in that, they once in a while they maybe have to use the inside company because maybe I'm not available or something like that. And they come back to me, and I get some interesting reports and stories, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But I'll mention to them, hey, thank you so much. I don't take that for granted. I know you have choices. If you happen to hear of anybody else that is maybe looking for a different solution, maybe they're not completely satisfied, we've got this referral program, and we want to say thank you for any referrals you can provide. And it's just kind of a natural conversation as they're telling me stories about why they like working with us so much.
Yeah. Agents will tell you everything.
Well, I've heard
They
some interesting things. Todd, sometimes I feel like a priest or a pastor where they're confiding things in me that they wouldn't tell anybody else. I'm like, I got to keep my mouth shut. I've got a confidentiality thing. You know, it makes me chuckle a little bit sometimes.
Craig, do you have any tips or tricks? Because I think you have a natural knack for people confiding in you. And I don't think that goes for everyone. I think sometimes, there's some people I talk to, I'm like, I'm not telling this person anything. And, versus you, where it's like, I feel super confident. Do you have any just simple tips for just
Jeez.
interactions in a house with an agent?
Well, I mean, it usually starts. We've talked about this a bazillion times. Those of you that maybe are new, I love coffee meetings and sitting down to get to know a potential client or a new client as a human being, hearing their story. And I always start with, so tell me, how did you get into real estate? Do you mind sharing your story? Um, and I've never had anybody not want to tell me their story, and how they're excited to be in this and just the journey that led up to that. And then I'll usually try and briefly, it's hard sometimes, share my story of how I got into it. And we connect as humans first. I'm not even talking about what are their marketing goals, what products or services are. I don't start with that because nobody likes that. It just, we're human beings. We have to connect. So I start with, tell me your story. I'd love to get to know you. And then that leads into what are their dreams? What are their hopes? What are their aspirations? And then based on that, well, here's what we could potentially do. That area, I don't know necessarily we could help you, but here's what we can do. And let's just try and find the right solution. So it's not pushing any one product or service. It's connect as a human being first, build the trust, and then work as a team to accomplish the realtor's goals. I just try to be real with people. Maybe I'm too transparent sometimes. I don't know, but it's just how I'm wired, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's sincere. I think people uh, trust that and people respond to that well. So that's a gold nugget for y'all. If you're in the house with an agent, hey, how'd you get started in real estate? And just a little asterisk note here. If the real estate agent's client, i.e. the homeowner, the builder, if they're in the property, are you going to ask that same question, Craig, or do you
No,
approach that a little
no,
bit differently?
yeah, no. If there's a seller, their focus is on their client, on the home seller, or yeah, like you said, the developer or builder. I'm there to do a job, so I'm not hobnobbing or socializing. I'm there to get the photos, the video, assure the seller that, hey, you made a great choice in choosing Dawn as your realtor. She's going above and beyond for you, which the realtor loves that because you're building their brand for them to the seller. My goal is to have that seller then refer that realtor, and what realtor wouldn't love that, right? And I can say that because they're using us, and we're doing our best job for the seller as well.
I love that, Craig. So let me just ask one clarifying real quick because you gave us a little tip there. So give us the cheat sheet for if it's just you and the homeowner in the house again. What's a good way to start a conversation there?
Adjust the homeowner. Well, usually
Well, yeah,
I'm
and or home and or agent. That's fine.
yeah. Well, if it's just the homeowner, a lot of times they'll say, "I take it you're the photographer," and my camera's hanging on my hip. I'm like, "What gave it away?"
There you go.
And it's
Perfect.
just have some fun, and it usually gets a smile. And so then I'll introduce myself and just kind of then step them through. Well, here's what we're doing for you today, and go through what services we're going to be doing, about how long it might take. Um, if we're doing something above and beyond, say just photos. Again, that's where I'll tell them your realtor is really going to bat for you. They're doing a lot of marketing, so it's going to take about this amount of time. At the end of the shoot, I'll let them know, hey, we'll have everything, to your realtor by the end of the day tomorrow, and then they'll take it from there. Do you have any questions? Just try and serve the home seller well. Um, with it being the realtor that might just be there, are you talking established relationship or a new client that we're working with?
Just with the realtor or just with the homeowner?
Just with the realtor.
Hey, let's ask for both. Okay. If you really say it's a brand new realtor a new client to you, excuse me. It's a new client to you.
It kind of depends. I don't know that I have a consistent approach on that, to be honest. Because if I'm there on the appointment to actually do the shooting, I have found if I get too chatty, I can miss a half bath or something like that, right? I'm not concentrating fully on the shoot. So I don't necessarily do a ton of getting to know you type conversation with them. But if I haven't had that initial, say, coffee meeting or in-office meeting or whatever, I'll try and get that set up. And again, let them know, hey, you'll have everything end of day tomorrow. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'd love to sit down with you and get to know you better and get to know your business better. Can we set up a time to meet? So yeah, I would probably say there's not a ton of social interaction if they've hired us before I've had the chance to sit down and get to know them.
That's great.
If it's an established client, I mean, we're so comfortable with each other. Hey, how's your kids doing? They'll ask about Zeke. I think I'm friends with pretty much every client I've got on Facebook. So they see my updates on my family and they'll ask how my son Zeke's doing. And, it's living life together and doing business together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And then those are all the little things. So that's a great timeline of a new client. Show the client you're there for business. You're, of course, going to be friendly. You're going to do what they need. You're going to try to build a relationship with them, extend the olive branch to have the coffee meeting. Also, one thing Craig did that we feel is very important is setting those expectations in at the house, just so they know what happens next, right. What's happening today, what happens next. Those are very important. And then from there, as you get to know these clients and you care about them. And that's one thing I think you guys sense it coming through here. Craig cares about his clients. It's not artificial. It's a true care to serve them. That's what gets your clients to refer you to other clients because they want you to win as well.
Todd, I think for me, a lot of that comes just from my past employment and career. I mean, obviously you know this, but pretty much my entire career was in the nonprofit sector, in nonprofit Christian ministry. And I've never been primarily business minded or profit driven or anything like that. It's been more about trying to encourage people, sharing God's word with people, serving people. It's like, I don't know how to do anything else well. I don't consider myself, a great businessman or business strategist or CEO or it's all I know. So in the context of the business world, I just take, okay, that's who I am. That's who God made me to be. And I'm going to do my best with that, learn what I can about the business world and implement, good principles that are principles of integrity and just serve people well. And I don't tend to overcomplicate it a whole lot. Yeah.
Craig, I think that's why you're up 19% year over year. It's just because you do what's correct for the client. It's not the next tactic. It's not the next buzzword in a book. It's not the next social media post or landing page or technique. It's not. And I'm not saying those things don't have value, y'all, but I read what you guys ask on social media and I read what comes in and it's like, oh, it's so far away from what is really going to change your life, your business, and your client's life.
Right. I have a confession to make, Todd. You said
I love this part of the program.
You said a word.
I feel like we need a jingle right now.
Craig's flashbacks. So you used a phrase, buzzwords, right? There are definitely business buzzwords, and I had a role doing inside sales at a particular company here. This was one of my non-ministry related jobs. And we had the guy, he was a nice guy, and he was just very sales manager driven, and had a lot of business buzzwords vocabulary. And it might have been disrespectful of me. I don't know. I mean, I liked the guy. I did what I could to, to hit my goals and work with him. I didn't not like this guy. I just want to set this up. But he used business buzzwords so much that it got to be a little bit of an inside joke with our inside sales department, maybe driven by me a little bit, of what business buzzword is he going to use next. And we would have these inside sales department meetings, right? And I may or may not have created a business buzzword bingo card for us to keep track of during the meetings. We'd see who would get a bingo based on the terms that we know he would use.
Did anybody call out bingo during the meeting?
Not that I recall. I would have gotten in so much trouble. But I'm not usually like that. But that's how like non-business I am. It's like, yeah, I know there's good words. It's like synergy was one of the
synergy.
Big words. Synergy,
yes,
big word that he liked to use. And check. So all that to say, there are tons of listeners or viewers right now that you are a whole lot smarter than I am when it comes to business and building a business and growing it. Kudos to you. We're not making fun of you. I mean, I'm kind of jealous of how smart many of you are. And I don't consider myself that. But if we can be real with people, be compassionate, serve well, I really think that's just a lot of what contributes to success and doing well in your business. Just be real with people.
Yeah, it's what people want. And again, you're selling salespeople, y'all. So don't get too clever, because they have probably already heard it.
There's a phrase, it might have come from you even, Todd. I don't remember. You can't sell a salesperson. And our clients they might call themselves consultants like we do, but ultimately we're all salespeople. You can't sell a salesperson. We all know the same techniques,
Yeah. A phrase I use, stole it from Shannon. She probably stole it from someone else. So just for tracking purposes, that is who it's not a me phrase, but I do say it. I agree 100%. Yeah. Okay, Craig, I'm going to go down to one more, and let's talk about this one more name. And I think there's a couple of different connections here. So we have a Michelle at a company that we have a relationship with. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about Michelle? And then as I saw Michelle in that company name, I saw a whole bunch of new names from that company. What did we do there? Or what did you do there? I did nothing.
Michelle was at a different brokerage when I first met her. And she has since moved to this new brokerage for her, quite a few years old now. But yeah, we have a brokerage agreement with this particular brokerage that I then introduced that agreement in that program to Michelle and to the offices that are up here in my service area. And because of the relationship that I've had with her and having shot for her before, she was very enthusiastic about introducing us to the regional offices that we serve here in my market. And there's not a whole lot more to say. It was a combination of the program and relationship, and her knowing our consistency and quality and the way we serve. And so I've had the opportunity to do a lot of presentations in the 3 or 4 offices in our area. And I do that multiple times a year. And she will mention us. She's asked us to sponsor events that they do for their realtors. So we've sponsored several events, and I get to every one of those events that I can. Every once in a while, my schedule is too full with shoots, so I can't make it, but we'll still have, our presence with our logo and maybe some swag that we give. And she even when I'm not there, she'll make an announcement about thanking wow and whatnot. So it's just been a good relationship. She's enthusiastic about us, and we serve her and her team well. So yeah.
Yeah. One thing I love about the industry, Craig, and I know this probably drives the brokers crazy, the owners of the companies crazy, but if as you build good relationships with agents and they know, like, and trust you, it's just a matter of time before agents at one company sprinkle throughout and go to other companies. It's just the way the business is.
Yeah.
Agents go from one company to the next. Brokers and recruiters try to get them to switch, give them a better deal, a better payout, a cut, whatever it may be. They switch because they know people. They switch for some reason, but it's going to happen. And that's a beautiful thing that Craig had a relationship with this Michelle, and she changed companies and happens to be a manager at this new company.
Mm-hmm.
And thus, we have that new referral. It's like Michelle's almost a salesperson for us inside of that company.
Yeah. Going back to the brokerage she was with before, it was the same brokerage that we don't have a preferred vendor relationship with. And I would be pretty confident in saying that the new business that we have with her new brokerage might be as big as, if not bigger than what we had with the former brokerage.
Wow. And I'm sure she switched because she was so unhappy that that former brokerage no longer had a relationship with us that she's like, I got to go to wherever Wow's at.
Sure. I bet that's it. I bet that's it. There's more of that sarcasm.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I'm completely kidding, y'all. I had no bearing on it. But the beautiful thing is that Michelle got to the new spot. It's like, I know a guy.
Yeah.
And I want him to come here as well.
The brokerage agreement didn't hurt things by any means.
Yes, because there are, let me just count them. There are immediately under her 17 names right there that came in from the brokerage agreement. So again, just if our listeners are just joining in for the first time, like, what is it? What is a brokerage agreement, Craig? A broker deal, as we call them.
Well, Todd, we've talked about this brokerage agreement, and we've talked about it in the past before. Like you said, can you explain what a brokerage agreement is?
I'd love to, because it's one of my most favorite things to talk about. It's top-down selling at a brokerage. So it's where you go out and you build a relationship with the person in charge, the decision maker, and you say, hey, I've got this great media program that's going to give you the solution to help you get your agents to market properties better, which in turn gets them more listings. And then also, this is going to be an incredible recruiting tool for you, because you're going to go tell all the agents that are not at your brokerage that you have a brokerage deal where you have a media program for all agents at your brokerage, where you front the cost for their media, take it out at closing, and it's a convenience to them to market their listings better with a no impact, a no risk to them if the property doesn't sell.
There you go.
That's
Easy
a
enough.
very quick, it exists in many different ways. Shannon and I are going to spend an hour talking about this at the rep conference this year. So we've got a featured spot there. We're going to talk all about it. And we have many podcasts on this. And I think the interesting thing is, as I look at this list, Craig, and while you have a ton of names on here, there's still 17 that are related to this company. It's the largest driver this year in your market of new clients coming in.
Yeah, and admittedly, Todd, I've actually not been prospecting new business, primarily because I'm actually the only photographer currently for us in my market, and I'm at capacity. I can't take on additional clients, so I've not been actively seeking out new clients, but we've still had them trickle in because of referrals and things like that. So I'm very appreciative to our current clients for sharing our name, and hoping to get somebody very soon so that we can continue to build the business and serve more realtors.
Craig, okay, record scratch here. Like, I'm so happy that you shared that with us, because y'all, we encounter the same gaps that you encounter.
Yeah.
Okay. I talk to many of you and you are like, I am so busy shooting right now. Or whatever the gap is, I am doing no shooting right now. I wish I had clients. Everybody, this is the ebbs and the flows of business.
Right.
And so our problem right now is not new business in Craig's territory. In fact, it's not our problem in any of our territories, thankfully, because we have focused on getting new business. What you focus on will expand. It's worked. Okay, so now we have a new gap. That is, we need to grow the team. That is what we're focused on. And we're finding, there's always going to be different gaps that you have. We're finding this one happens to be a challenging gap in Craig's market right now. And we're finding that we have to pivot. We've hired hundreds of photographers, y'all, throughout the years. We know what it takes to hire a photographer. This one's a little bit different. And we're learning as we go along. Craig's helping with that. Jess is helping with that.
Yep.
But it's no different than anything you get to. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this photographer on. And then what we have then, once we get this photographer up to speed, is we have a new gap where we need new business. So Craig, when that gap happens, it's probably going to be January, February of next year. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I switched to now prospecting mode. I'm actively now looking for new business to get that new photographer schedule as full as I can and keep them busy and happy doing what they're doing and earning their money. But I can't do that, and I won't do that until I know what we have the capacity. And I was just very honest with Chris and Steve, my managers on the sales side of things, that if we continue to try and bring in new clients when we don't have the capacity, they're going to get frustrated because they can't get scheduled when they want, and they're going to go to other businesses. And that is going to make a really, really bad first impression, and it's going to make it a whole lot more challenging to try and win their business back when I didn't even have it in the first place, because they've already had a bad experience with us. So I want to minimize that until I know that, okay, we've got more capacity, somebody that can serve you and grow from there.
Yeah, that is. We talked about holes in a bucket a few podcasts ago.
Yeah.
If you don't have any capacity, but you're selling like crazy, you have a much larger hole in your bucket than what's coming in. So you're losing more in your bucket because you're doing all this work, building relationships. Agents are excited to come and use you. They get to your order page and they can't use you for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that has been fabulous, Craig. Thank you for sharing about these clients. If any of you out there have some stories, have a question, if you're nurturing a client along right now, we'd love to help you. Post it in the chat below. Again, hello@spiro.media. If you're like, hey, I talked to this client 2 weeks ago and they said this, how should I contact them? How can I move this along? When should I check in? We're here for you. We hope this has been helpful, but please ask us, post it in the chat below, and we will do our best to help you move that along.
Absolutely. You could also email us Spiro or hello@spiro.media. And if you're a Spiro user, I suppose they could use the pink chat bubble too, right?
Yeah, pink chat bubble. They'll get it over. This customer support team will get you over to myself or Craig. So the pink chat's great as well.
Awesome. Well, Todd, thanks for the opportunity to share this week.
Craig, thank you for letting me put you on the spot. I feel like I kind of missed an opportunity to do something a little bit more, but regardless.
I'm just glad in going through my report card you didn't hit my math class, because, man, math was always my... I lost out. One more quick story. So back when I was 13 or 14, my mom and dad said, if you get straight A's on your grade card, we will get you a moped. Now, mopeds were big back in the 80s, 90s, right? For early teen pre-drivers. I wanted that moped so bad. And I got all A's except for that stupid math class that I tried to this day. I hate math. That's part of why I'm not a business person. I hate math, right? So you going through my grade card just, brought back that trauma, Todd. Thanks a lot.
Well, Craig, I feel like I should send you a moped.
I've got my Honda 1300 out in the garage. I'm good now.
Will you just take the moped to one shoot for me and record it?
Well, my wife has the scooter / moped. I should do, you know what? Maybe I'll do that. You told me to get some video. Maybe I'll do that on video. Okay. You guys.
More to come.
Right. More to come. You guys have a great week. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Make sure you take some time to be thankful for the blessings in your life, like maybe a moped, and take a breath. Have a great week. Take care.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.